Hi, and welcome back to Girl Talk. We have an important topic to share with you today, and I'm excited to reintroduce you to our next guest. We're joined by Dr. Ashley Woyak, who's with Forward Natural Medicine, and we are so pleased to have you.
Yeah, thank you. I love coming on. This is great.
Well, we love chatting with you because the topic of natural health, I feel like, is just growing, and more people are really becoming educated, and you are a wealth of knowledge. Today we're talking about thyroid health.
Yes.
This is something that I think a lot of women maybe think about throughout their lives, and if you don't, maybe you should, because there's a lot to know. But we're talking first about low thyroid, so talk about common causes.
Yes, low thyroid is probably the most common problem when women have a thyroid issue. It's just not performing as well, I guess you could say, and the number one cause for it is something called Hashimoto's disease, and I think I've brought this up maybe before in another episode, but it's when your immune system is attacking your thyroid for some reason. So in that case, it's actually not a primary thyroid problem. Something is causing your immune system to kind of go haywire and attack your thyroid. So that's the most common cause of actually low thyroid.
Wow, it sounds like there's a series of issues there that could be causing that.
Lots.
My girlfriend, she was diagnosed with this like at the age of 28, and her body just went crazy. It took like a year to figure it out. So how do you know you have Hashimoto's?
Yes, most of the time you'll go to a primary care doctor, you'll say, I have fatigue, or I can't lose weight, or I'm just brain fog, you're just not feeling yourself. They typically will run TSH, which is the most common thyroid marker. If that comes back high, then they'll say, okay, you've got low thyroid, and most likely just put you on a medication, which is their standard of care. But if I were you, if that's what happens, I would say, do you mind measuring my antibodies? There's two different types you can run, your TPO antibodies and your thyroglobulin antibodies. Just ask your doctor to run those, because if they come back positive, that's positive for Hashimoto's disease. So then you know it's an autoimmune problem and not really a thyroid problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Sorry if it's like, oh gosh, but someone who does that,
Dr. Ashley.
just come see me and I'll get it to you.
Yeah, I love it. Don't try and remember all that.
But the important takeaway is that it's not really a thyroid problem, it's the Hashimoto's.
Yes, it's your immune system. It's a problem with that. Something's triggering it, and so we've got to figure out what's going on there.
So you mentioned the symptoms could be fatigue, having trouble losing weight, the brain fog. What are some of the triggers of Hashimoto's that would create this cascade?
Yeah, and so if that's the case, and sometimes doctors don't run the antibody test because in their case the treatment's the same, you're just given a thyroid medication. But if it's an autoimmune problem like the Hashimoto's, we've got to figure out why that's happening, okay? So, because the thyroid medication is really just a Band-Aid, it's kind of masking your symptoms, but it's not getting to the root cause. So the most common triggers would be like food sensitivities. You're eating foods that you don't know that you're reacting to. That's a really common one. Hormonal imbalances with, women are on birth control, hormone replacement therapy, that can be a big trigger. Chronic stress, whether it be mental, emotional, like how's family life or finances or a job, or stress from just we're so busy we don't eat all day, like that's a stress on our body. Chronic underlying infections, some people have had mono in the past, or like Epstein-Barr virus, Lyme disease, things like that they don't know might be causing it. And lastly is environmental toxins are a big one. So there's over 80,000 toxins in our environment that have not been FDA approved, so we have no idea I shouldn't say no idea, we're starting to realize the impact that they have on our health now. So when patients come to see me, those are my 5 main things. I'm like, okay, could one of these be your underlying root cause, or is it synergetic, or is it multiple things? Sorry, I just rambled on right there.
But that's what's so fascinating is there is so much to know, and it's so hard to separate. And what you're doing is really trying to figure out what is happening that is causing these things versus just medicating the one symptom.
Yes.
Which is one of the things that we tend to do and tend to overlook some of the other problems. So you could just be masking other things.
Yeah.
So one of the things that people can do for a low thyroid is take an iodine supplement. Talk about that.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of, if you go to a health food store or talk to someone, they're like, oh, just take iodine, that can help. But if you have an autoimmune problem, putting iodine as like a supplement is kind of just adding fuel to the fire. It can make your symptoms worse. So you really need to be careful. So that's why some people will go to the store and be like, oh, I'll try this, and that's why they can feel awful on it. So,
do you feel like one is more common than the other, if it's really thyroid or really Hashimoto's?
Yeah, Hashimoto's is way more common.
Really?
So 9 out of 10 low thyroid problems are Hashimoto's.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking
That's
of
a
your
lot.
poor friend to
Yeah, girl.
spend over a year just trying to
Yes.
figure it out.
Yes, and so many of my patients come in, they're like, oh, my doctor never ran
Yeah.
antibodies, or they're lucky and they did, but then their doctor didn't change. It's like, oh, here's still the medication. There's no difference in kind of approach to treatment.
We
if
should
that
be
makes sense.
I
taking notes.
know.
Yeah,
Her
Yeah.
entire diet changed. I mean, her body broke out from head to toe.
Oh,
I mean, it was like a struggle to find out what was exactly
Yes.
going on.
And so many people think, oh, thyroid, it's just in your neck, but you need thyroid hormone for every single cell in your body. You need it to make energy. You need it to have your cells like make protein and for us to actually function. It's important for everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is the problem with taking a thyroid medication long term when it comes to that?
Yeah, so if you, especially if you have Hashimoto's, you know, like if you're just taking a medication to constantly band-aid that issue, you're never really getting to the root cause. And with most autoimmune problems, if you have one, eventually you'll probably get another one until you take care of what's causing it. You know, because autoimmunity, so your immune system with thyroid, it's just attacking your thyroid. Eventually, if we don't figure out why it's attacking it, it's just going to start attacking another tissue, and then maybe another one, and another
Not
one.
to mention the laundry list of side effects that prescription medications have. So it's like just building on top of one another over and over again. I want to give a quick shout out to you, Ashley, because we've got a lady here who has been working with you and had some outstanding results and had a lot of health problems solved.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
pretty exciting. We won't say who it is, but you have to guess. Thank you so much for
Yes,
being with us.
thank
If
you.
you have
This
any
is great.
questions for Dr. Ashley, you can reach out to her. She has a great website, Forward Natural Medicine. We are Girl Talk. Thank you so much for being with us today, and we'll see you next time here on 57.